Did you know that only 13% of real estate agents actually have any success within a 5-year period? Think about that just for a second. That means if you're standing in a room with 10 agents today, in 5 years, you'll look around and maybe only one other person maybe will be there with you. Why? Well, because most agents are told to cold call to get business. It is the default advice. And the truth is, cold calling sucks. Not just for you, but for the person on the other end of the line too, and it destroys more agents than anything else out there. Now, look, I'm not saying that cold calling never works, right? I did it for a decade, thousands of hours on the phone, tested every permission-based opener you could possibly imagine, right? Some of that actually got me to pass the first 10 seconds, right? But most didn't. Even the lines that were a little bit clever, right? Hey, you probably hate me for this, but, or, hey, Mike, I have your number on my desk for some reason. I don't even know why. Were you maybe thinking of selling your house by chance? Right? They still ended up with most people hanging up on me, telling me to go get bent. And so in this video, I'm going to show you the cold, hard truth about cold calling and why it's literally the hardest way to build your real estate business. And then I'm going to show you the big shift that we made that actually started getting people to chase us to meet with them. And then third, why cold calling might actually be ruining your business without you even realizing it. Now, if you want to see exactly what we're doing in our business to be consistently closing seller leads, just get on my weekly email list below. It's as simple as that. We'll give it to you. Now, let's start with the ugly math because nobody breaks this down honestly. So if you're lucky, and I mean you have a solid script, you've practiced your tonality, you're smiling while dialing, your cold call opener is going to work about 10% of the time. So that means for every 10 homeowners you catch on the phone, maybe one of them will let you get past the first sentence. That's just the reality of it. Now, out of those conversations, about 1 in 10 of those turns into a real lead. Now, when I say a lead, I mean someone who says, yeah, maybe we've been thinking about selling, or no, we don't have an agent, or maybe we'd like to meet, or, maybe you'll get their email to stay in touch to put them on your weekly email, which if you're not doing, you should. Shame on you if you're not. So let's shake this down, right? With a triple line dialer, if it's taken you 5 to 6 hours to get one lead, right? And we'll break this down and say it's even quicker. Oh, it should take 2 hours to get a lead or something. Forget about that. These are the real numbers that I've tracked over the years. So at 500 dials per lead, 10 leads per meeting, 4 meetings per deal, that equals 20,000 dials per deal, or about 200 to 240 hours of cold calling per single deal. This will accelerate. You will get better at it. But even the experts, right? People have been doing this a long time, will spend north of 40 to 60 hours of cold calling per single deal, right? So if you were to describe hell to me, that pretty much sums it up, right? So yeah, cold calling does work, right? If you're willing to put yourself through a meat grinder for months and years on end, and it's never going to stop, go ahead, do it. If you want to be a professional telemarketer, great, go for it. You just have to ask yourself, are you in real estate to become a professional telemarketer? 10 years ago, I had enough, but about 5 years ago, I got serious about changing my business. I was sitting there, I was looking at all my call logs. I was just thinking about all these hangups, all these wrong numbers, people picking up the phone less and less, the numbers getting worse and worse, going, gosh, there's got to be a better way, right? So I flipped it, right? I made the investment, I spent the money, and I really started to dial in how to get homeowners to come to us to sell their house. And it took about $1 million in ad spend, but we figured out a pretty darn good system to get people consistently raising their hands so we can consistently be closing 20 to 30 deals per agent in our brokerage firm, right? And these are people that are saying, hey, I might actually be interested in selling. So when I follow up with these people, I'm not interrupting their dinner, right? I'm not catching them totally off guard like a cold call is. Their guard is already lowered because they clicked first. They reached out to me first. And the difference is insane, right? My conversions went through the roof, and now 1 out of 23 leads turns into a deal, and most of them make 2 times the standard commissions, right? I'll fill you in more on that in a minute. But I also only make 5 to 10 phone calls a day, right? The rest is spent on current clients and teaching other agents. I've got 5 on the market, I've got 4 under contract. And it's like the difference between chasing someone down the grocery store aisle to ask them to buy your new protein shake, right? Versus someone coming up to you at a booth at a fitness expo gallery saying, hey, talk to me about this shake, right? Who do you think closes more deals? It's pretty obvious. Now, to see the exact ads that we're running to get these sellers to reach out to us, just get on my weekly email below. We'll fill you in on all the details. Here's the other thing that nobody tells you about cold calling and why this actually is probably ruining your business or any chance of success in the future. You can spend hours every day on the dialer dialing for dollars, right? Hoping you catch the right person at the right time. But guess what? That means your entire business is chained to you being on the phone. If you're not dialing, the pipeline dries up. It's like pushing a boulder uphill every single day. Stop pushing, and it just rolls right back down and bowls you over. Now, compare that to what happens when you start running ads to generate seller leads, right? I get to spend my time actually meeting with clients, negotiating deals, or honestly, just living my life. And because I'm not glued to the phone all day chasing people, I also have time to do the stuff that actually grows long term and the stuff that I actually enjoy, like building a brand, making videos like this for my real estate channel, sending out market updates, staying top of mind with past clients. So not only do I have a consistent flow of motivated sellers coming to me, but I've got the margin to stack a brand on top of it. And that's where things really start to snowball, right? Because the more people see you as the go-to expert online, on social, through referrals, the easier it gets. And suddenly you're getting listings from people who say, hey, I've been watching your videos for months. We're ready to sell. Can you come over this weekend? Right? You can't do that if every minute of your day is eaten up by cold calling. That's why I stopped doing it. Not because it didn't work, but because it was never going to build me the business or the lifestyle that I actually wanted to see. Real estate is one of the hardest businesses to scale up. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, that it's this easy, get rich quick sort of thing. It's tough work when 80% of your time is spent just trying to get someone to spend time with you and only a small piece of your day is spent with clients. Like it's off kilter here. Like that doesn't make sense in most businesses. That's why real estate agents charge as much as we do. And we're only paid for performance. So you do all this work. And at the end of the day, you don't even know if you're going to get a paycheck. Now, through the years, through doing this a decade and a half, we've found really good ways to actually capitalize way more than just your standard listing commission of 2.8%. And in fact, that's the least amount we make on a single deal. Most are about 50 to 100% more profit than just that listing commission. If you want to see exactly how we do it, you should really watch this video. It's going to double your close rate and your commissions.